What is going on with Chimaev? What is next for Chimaev? What's coming up for Chimaev? We don't know. We don't know. He was the media darling. We have never had a darling of the media since Ronda Rousey. When Ronda left, she sucked all the air out of the room. Then in comes Chimaev. Headlines everywhere, speculation everywhere. He got into some YouTube channel for a while, and he's hanging out with Darren Till, and like they were shopping one day. They were taking carts up and down. It looked like a Safeway or a Kroger's up and down the aisle. It was awesome. Everything this guy did, man, this guy was like Midas when it came to media. If Chimaev touched it, it turned to gold. Fascinating. He's Khabib 2.0. Pretty quickly, he realizes, man, I can't do that. I'm going for the same community that he's going for, and I just put him over. Not only am I no longer Khabib 2.0, call me the wolf. Oh, by the way, I'll prove I'm a wolf. I'll fight Khabib. That's interesting. That's really interesting to me. He's managed by the number one manager in the world, Ali Abdelaziz. He ends up no longer being managed by Ali, and now he's managed by Kadyrov. That's interesting to me. What's that relationship like? We're told that he's the Chechen. I don't know how much time he spent in Dagestan. I know he's training by way of Sweden right now and does a lot of stuff over in Thailand. That's interesting to me. Like everything that Chimaev does, that's interesting to me. And I can't get information on Chimaev. And it's not because Chimaev's keeping it to himself. I used to have a line to Chimaev. It doesn't work anymore. If I had the current one, he'd take the phone call right. He's a very accessible guy. Well, why don't we know these things? I'm not sure that he knows. I've heard him speak on it. He says, I don't care. I don't care who the opponent is. I don't care where it is. I don't care what weight it is. Nothing's changed in my life. You think I'm anyone, anywhere, anytime? I am anyone, anywhere, anytime. Where and who? But then we hear a rumor. We hear a rumor that he's dealing with like a travel advisory. So that Chimaev has to fight on Fight Island. That's what we've been told. Now, this makes for the second time that this rumor went around. I believed it the first time. It made a level of sense. And the world, right, it was a little closer to the pandemic, right? And the world's kind of this weird place. And the Chechnya and training with the Kadyrov, like it was kind of believable. And right in the midst of believing it, I walk into the PI. There's Chimaev standing right there in Las Vegas. Wait a minute. Chimaev? I just read that you're not allowed to leave the country. He's like, oh, read that too, my brother. I'm very tired. He's tired. He's sleepy. He's getting ready to go do his training with Latifi. But I'm just sharing for you. Now we're hearing the exact same thing, and I'm tending to fall for it. I'm tending to believe it again. Which of all people, I'm the one that broke it for you guys. Remember we did that? I say hello to Chimaev. We put it out on Instagram, but all the media picked up on it. That was a big deal. Oh, I guess Chimaev isn't banned from the country. But I'm falling for it again. Is he banned from the country? There's a thread on the underground. The kids on the underground always know what time it is. But the kids on the underground are saying that it's going to be Chimaev versus Kamaru Usman on Fight Island in October. That's the night where Islam is going to be defended against the winner of Charles and Benny, if those two even fight. And it's going to be at 170. It's like, well, a lot of this sounds right to me, except for the 170. I can only imagine who would be calling the shots, and I can only imagine who would have the whip hand in that relationship. If it's on Fight Island, which is Chimaev's backyard, that would be considered home turf for Chimaev. If he gets home turf, does Usman get the weight class that he wants, which is 170? All right, fine. Big fight. Chimaev would probably do it. Chimaev's management came out and said he can fight at 170 if he has ample time. 170 is still doable, but is a very big struggle for us. So if we have ample time, we can do it. Otherwise, we're going to be at 185. We all accepted that. It was the only information we were given. Nobody higher than that or bigger than that, or even equal to that, came out and said anything different than, all right. I bring that to you because that would be ample time and they could do that fight. I think they're going to have a very hard time getting that fight done at 185 pounds because the winner of Chimaev and Usman would become the number one contender, and there's no point in doing that. Kamaru is not going to fight Israel Adesanya. So you end up in this really weird juxtaposition here. So now you bring Chimaev down, you put him there with Usman. If Chimaev was to win, Chimaev's qualify to fight for a world championship. And that just creates all sorts of problems that I don't believe you need at 170 right now, but you could use those very problems, right? Sometimes problems are a good thing. You could use those problems at 185. You could use some new fresh blood at 185. You could use some top contenders at 185 pounds. So I don't know how much I believe the thread. I will admit it's guessing. I'll admit it's sources that aren't named. I will also admit it's got a pretty good track record of being right. I'll admit that it's got a few things that seem to line up, such as the travel ban and the advisory where Chimaev's got to fight in Abu Dhabi, of which why I believe, I'm a little bit naive, right, considering I'm the one that cracked it the first time, but I don't have information to the contrary. I don't even know what weight class he's going at. And I'm talking about Chimaev. Underground saying 170. I made you a piece 15 minutes ago. I told you 185. Dana White spoke over the weekend and said that these guys are vying for a catch weight, of which he doesn't do. It would seem when you have a media darling and the only thing that the media needs is a little bit of information, it would seem like every now and then you'd sprinkle out a little bit of information.